Good morning, traders. Welcome to today's market review. This is Fred Razak at CM Trading. Today is October 11th, 2017, and today is Wednesday morning. So looking at the economic events of the day, really just one major event coming out today, and that's going to be at 8 p.m. South African time. That's an FOMC meeting minutes that's coming out. That's when the FOMC actually discusses their rate decision. It's a detailed analysis of what's going on in the markets, and this is really important today, okay? Because coming up December, we will probably have a rate hike, okay? And as you guys know, the Dow Jones has been very active this past year. On the bullish side, we've rallied over 5,000 points, basis points, from the time that November 8th, from the time that 2016, from the time that Donald Trump became president until today. Now, it's not completely attributed to him, okay, obviously, but there are a lot of factors that are going here. Okay, the interest rates are very low recently, and that has really fueled the economy on the upside. Now we'll see, if that's going to fall into some on the back end. When the interest rates are low, it means banks are lending money at a lower cost, and that means people can afford to borrow more money, okay? And that ends up fueling the economy. On the back end of that, okay, on the flip side of it, the downfall is sometimes that there's inflation, okay? And inflation needs to be kept in check, okay? Inflation is when the price of goods and services increase over time, okay? And it's a balance, and that's what the Federal Reserve does. So we'll see what the in-depth analysis is today, but let's see what's been going on in the markets, because there has been a lot going on in the markets. All right, now we're looking here at the Euro USD, and as you can see on the downside, we've tested this 1691 level several times, okay? So you can consider that a pretty decent support level down here. And as you can see, we've had this previous resistance on these two levels, and previous to this, we've tested it once before since we've come down this far, and now we're testing it again. Now the question is are we going to fill in this gap to 1880, or are we going to falter here? And I think today will be a deciding day for that as well, whether or not we're going to correct here and find ourselves trading between 1819 and 1690, or we're going to actually break out higher to this 1880 level. Okay, and we've anticipated this, this reversal, or this correction, if you will, since the price of the euro has gone from 106 to 122. However, now that we're in these two basis lines, we now have to find some sort of an upper range and a lower range to see where we're trading and which range we're trading in. So, as quickly as we went up, we're, correcting ourselves mildly relative to how much further we can correct ourselves. So keep an eye on this later today to see how this unfolds. You may want to, jump on it to see, how momentum it is. Okay, just to test the momentum, just to put in a small feeler, and then once you see that it's working, to take it up on the higher end. Looking at the GBP USD as well, tugging along, and it's trading right below this level of 132.29. We're still above the 30 and 14-day average, not as strong as the euro is, right? But we're still above it. Okay, so these would be my two to go to symbols to actually trade today to see if it does break out higher. Looking at gold, gold's popped since last week, okay, from 1270. Incidentally, we hit a little bit of news hitting the wire and technical trading aligning to that. So that sometimes happens, and it happens often, okay? And that means basically there was a scare with North Korea last Friday. The price of gold jumped about 10 points, and we happen to have been hitting the support level of 1270. Okay, now if you just look at the chart and you didn't know, particularly of, North Korea's actions, or the rumor that towards North Korea's actions, you would have just looked and said, hey, we hit support and we bounced off of it, right? So that's really important to note here. What is of note here into the relative strength, it hasn't hit above 70. So this may continue going up higher, catch up to the 30-day moving average. We're above our 14-day moving average, okay, just to settle in this 1300-ish level. But this is a little bit of a resistance here at 1293, and we haven't hit it, and we haven't really broken up above it. So let's see how this also responds to the FOMC meeting minutes tonight as well. So keep an eye on that. Looking at oil here, $51 a barrel. I mean, we're trading between 52 and 51. I mean, this hasn't been like, an outstanding trade. It's been very choppy. Nothing really jumping out and saying, okay, we're now trending upwards or trending lower. But for this time of the year, for some of the hurricanes that we've had in North America, it has affected the distribution of oil, and the price has been hit a little bit, okay? But we're going into the winter months now. Let's see if we do have, a warmer climate in northern United States and in Europe, and will that, put some pressure on the price of oil. So we'll have to see how that unfolds. Looking at the Dow Jones, all-time highs, again, 22,785. You can't write this stuff, okay? When the trend is your friend, you just buy and you hold and you let it run, okay? And this is exactly what's happened. I mean, we started the week with 22,400-ish level. We broke above this resistance level that we tried to break above it before, okay? And then we've just taken it out, okay, on this big bar, and just a nice continuing trade, okay? To say, oh, Fred, when is it going to correct itself? Fred doesn't really know when it's going to correct itself, but you know what? It's going to let me know, okay? And when it lets me know, I will let you know. So right now, the trend is your friend. We're still in an uptrend. We're above the RSI, above 70, okay? Not looking to retrace any much, okay? And this is just a sign of the times. Money is cheap to borrow. Companies are borrowing nice amount of money. Lots of potential things in the markets, driverless cars, artificial intelligence up in the markets. These are things that are in the pipeline that these companies are working with, okay, and working towards. So, keep that in mind, as the Dow Jones is a futures market, okay, and it reflects 6 months in advance, not currently, okay. So just keep that in mind. Looking at the JSC as well, all-time highs, 52,141. And we've mentioned this a couple of times, that it's really taken a nice rally, okay, and challenging these upper limits of 50,000, 50,200-ish level as well. So this is a beautiful move for the JSC. DAX, not making major new highs. This is concerning me, okay? This is disconcerting. 12,957. I would look, if the market does change, to short the DAX, because it's not rallying. It's just lagging behind the Dow Jones, and usually the DAX is the one that's leading the team, okay? What's could happen, though, just, to have this in the back of your head, is that the DAX will not rally, the Dow Jones will correct itself, and then the DAX will continue going up, okay? That has happened, okay? The lagger becomes the leader becomes the lagger. Sometimes you have to watch out for that. So right now, though, the DAX is very, very weak, okay, relatively. I mean, it's all-time highs, so you can't really say that it's weak. However, it's not breaking out higher, new highs, new major highs. It's not showing me that it's in the 13,000 and has this tremendous resistance to be in the 13,000. If it does break it, though, it will continue higher. But it doesn't look like it wants to go higher, and it has this resistance. I don't know what's looming, what the undercurrent that's looming the DAX, but as you can see, it's not breaking out higher. This is Fred Razak. I want to wish you guys a great trading day. Thank you.